Hey friends, this is a market recap of my crochet market this weekend. It is the night of the market and I have just decided, so that I can get some extra rest in the morning, to just go ahead and give you guys the details so that all I have to do in the morning is do my editing instead of filming and editing and uploading. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the rundown of the market. So welcome if you are new here, welcome back if you are not new. We talk about all things crochet and markets, pattern reviews, all that fun stuff here usually. And so I had a market this last weekend, just actually today. I mean, it was, I say last weekend, for you guys watching it on Sunday, it'll be yesterday, but it was just a one-day market, something new that me and Tara, my daughter Tara, is who I do my markets with, from Old Soul Factory here on YouTube, Old Soul Factory Crochet on Instagram, and we do them together. And so we tried a new market, and it was not a bad market together. I mean, we did pretty well together. If this had been something super close to us, I would have considered this a pretty good market day. But I'm going to give you a little preview of our setup video here, and then some after footage so you can spot some of the things that maybe are missing, and then we will come right back here to talk about all of the stuff that sold. So I will see you in just a second. We are here. We're at the market. April and Tara are behind me. We just unpacked everything from the car. We're right on a corner, like right where everyone kind of walks by, so I'm just trying to figure out a way to film what we can for Friday night setup. We'll finish setup in the morning, but wanted to give you a little bit of a preview of the before. Say cheese.
Come on in.
It's empty.
There's nothing in here.
We'll see if we leave it this way. Hey, good morning. It's market day. Everyone else is like, don't get me on the camera, and I'm like, I won't. I'll trust your morning privacy, because I know how that is. You're welcome, Mom.
Hi, though.
They're here. It's way too early, and as always, in a hotel, I did not sleep as well as I usually sleep when it's at my house. So that's always super fun. So. And to be up earlier than I normally am up for even work. And like April said, the only thing I get up early for is a craft show these days. So, and Christmas morning and a craft show, I'll do pretty much. So, but anyway, so we're finishing up putting our faces on. Mine's on, and now it doesn't really look like it, but it is. And having a hot flash. I'm tired, anxious. You know, all those fun market morning things. Everyone makes it look so glamorous.
But we're going to have fun, though.
We are. But I'm also excited, and, you know, I'm ready to go. We bagged up everything by table and shelf, kind of. so that it would be faster to get everything up on the shelf. We'll have probably end up having 45 minutes to set up once we actually get there and through the breakfast and through the traffic this morning, and then we'll get all of that set up. We had to get all the signs out and all of those fun things when we get there. And then it starts at 8 to 10 is VIP early access. People pay $10 instead of $5 to get in, and it's not by a pre-order. Everything is sold at the gate, so it's just line up, come in, and pay the $10 if you're there before 10, and if you're there after 10, then you just pay $5 to get in. It looks pretty big, but we didn't get a chance to walk around a ton yesterday, but we're in a really great location in the show pavilion, which I knew would be outside in a covered area, and there's wood chips on the ground. It's like probably like the sheep barn or something. I think maybe it's sheep or swine. I think it's their swine. It's their swine building, but it's not enclosed a ton. And it's, the wood chips aren't like dirty. They're semi-fresh, but we did have a rug to lay down on the floor, and that I brought, which I was glad I brought, because some stuff fell off the shelves while we were just kind of mock setting up yesterday. And then every time something would fall, if I had one thing fall outside of that and it got little pieces of wood on it, not dirty, just that sticks to the yarn. So anyway, so we'll get there and do all that stuff, but it's a great location. As you go in the show pavilion, there's a booth right there, and that is us. We were actually moved. We were down inside, but right across from another crochet booth, and the lady noticed that when she went to show us where we were, and she was like, I hate that you guys are that close. Let me see who's not here yet, and moved us around. And I feel kind of bad because, the other person was already there, but it is what it is, and it's a good location. So hopefully it's a great day. So we'll see what I get as far as footage when I'm there, and I'll try to keep you updated, guys. So see you later. Bye. Smile, April.
So fat and crackers. That's the best one of all. Dinner present. It's right at your chin. Why not? You're like, here, we got your chin. We're hanging.
The after. Been a rough day. This market was a Saturday in Corydon, Indiana. They tried something new this year and split up a 2-day show, a full weekend show, into 2 different weekends on just a Saturday. So it was something new. The show itself is established, but them splitting it into 2 weekends is a new concept for them. Corydon, Indiana is a 2-hour drive for us, and they are in the Eastern time zone, so they are an hour ahead. And they opened the market at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. for VIP early access. So you paid a little bit extra at the gate to be some of the first people through. This is an antique, flea markety, vintagey, but also artisan, handmade, juried type show where they do limit the amount of types of products that are there in each category, which is great. But is also just a variety of boutiques, vintage stuff, thrifted things, repurposed, and then artisan handmade things, plus a lot of food booths as well. So that's just kind of give you the groundwork for what was there. We were outside in a pavilion. It was a like swine barn on a big bed of wood chips, which I had an outdoor rug for, so we did lay that down so that things they fell more on the rug instead of directly in the wood chips and got dirt and or wood chips stuck in the yard. So the market was 8 to 5. 8 to 10 was VIP time, 10 to 5 was normal market time. Because we had to check in on Friday and it's so far away and it was an hour ahead and it started so early, we stayed at a hotel Friday night. So I do have a hotel expense plus a booth fee for this market, which we'll talk about at the end and talk about how much of that is mine and how much that comes off my total really. So I did take half a day off work, left Friday afternoon, drove, set up the bones of it and some of the plushies and then put them and kind of organized them so we didn't have to get there as early on Saturday. So if you saw in the footage, April from the Cozy Buckeye is a couple hours from there. She knew we were going to be in town. She drove down and helped us set up Friday and stayed with us all day Saturday, stayed with us at the hotel Friday night, ate supper with us. We had a great visit. It was great to see her again. She's been to we hosted the last retreat together and then she was at the very first one that I did with Tara and has become a really great friend. So she came down and helped us, which was really great to see April. But we started off the weekend with, Friday we set up, went to bed that night. We were up a little bit late, talking, catching up with April. And I'm a very routine person when it comes to winding down before bed, and just sleeping in strange places is not something that I love to do. Honestly, I like to be in my own bed. So I have a little bit of a issue with trying to sleep when I'm not at my home and don't get my routine. And then I was anxious about the next morning. And I laid there like I had drank a bunch of caffeine. Like my body was exhausted and didn't want to move, but my brain was just on all night long, which is just that you're not really sleeping because you're sitting there thinking. I was thinking about work stuff. I was thinking about the market. I was envisioning, did I lock my car? Did someone steal something out of it? Like, oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock. Now I'm only going to get 3 hours of sleep. And my brain just would not shut off. And it was no fault of anybody's, but I know this about myself, and I even took some NyQuil because I have still some phlegm and having a hard time sleeping and some coughing fits at night when I do lay down flat. So I took NyQuil even, and it was just not good. I woke up today exhausted. I had to get up at 5 a.m. my time, 6 a.m. Corridon time, to get ready and get a shower and then leave the hotel around 7 so that we could drive down there and have almost an hour to try to set everything up before they opened for VIP. I was just flat out like zonked. I mean, it reminded me of the first day of the full day of the retreat when everybody came, and I did not sleep the night before everybody came that night. And I mean, I just don't function on little sleep anymore. I just know this about myself, and I knew I had a long day ahead of people socializing and standing up and, you know, the market. And I like going to markets usually in general. I just was not rested. And so 8 o'clock came. We could tell there was not a ton of people coming at the VIP time. We have never been here, so we have no idea what to expect. I just have a friend who has done this market who says it's a great market, but this is also the first year they split it. So it's 8, almost 9 o'clock, and I said if I could just get 30 minutes of sleep, I feel like I would be a whole new person. And it was like dead. And April and Tara were just like, go to the car and see if you can sleep. And I'm like, I won't be able to because I know myself. But I went to the car, and it was warm in the car from the sunlight because I was a little chilly. And I left my phone, the square, and all the money in case somebody came by to buy anything, and it was not busy. And I laid down in the car, laid my seat all the way back, rolled up the coat and covered up with Tara's sweatshirt, and I passed out for 30 minutes. I don't know how long I would have slept had Tara's phone not vibrated. I took her phone so she could keep mine with the square on it. It vibrated right at 9:30 and woke me up, which was good. I wanted just 30 minutes anyway. And so I had a good 30-minute nap, came back, felt like a new person. So we did that. I slept a little bit, and then it started to pick up closer to 10:30. There was a little bit more of a crowd there. I sold 2 Triceratops right after 8 o'clock, like 8:20 maybe. And that's all we sold in the first 2 hours of the VIP part. So we had a really great setup place. We were right inside the show pavilion, so that when you walked up to the pavilion, you had to go in it to see everybody else, but you at least saw us because we were right there on the corner. So it was a very good spot. And there was a couple other crochet booths there, but not very many. There was 2 that I know of. So, okay, so I sold those 2 Triceratops, came back from my nap, nothing had sold. And then the rest of the day, like up until about 11:30 till noon, I mean, this page is full now, but was like maybe to here. I mean, it was like, this is going to be bad. I'm like, I'm barely going to make back my hotel and my booth fee. Like, I was not feeling very optimistic. But anyway, it carried on, and it got really nice and steady busy from about 11 to about 1:30 around lunchtime. There was a lot of food trucks there. The weather was beautiful for a May 31st in Southern Illinois. It wasn't humid. It was breezy. It was partly cloudy, but not rainy at all. There's no chance of rain. So it was just a really pretty day to get out, and there was a lot of people out and about. You could tell the people who were there to kind of thrift and flea market, and the ones that, are out there visiting, and the people that were there, you know, and had kids and came by and saw the booth and stuff. So, okay, so let's get to what I sold. I'm sorry I don't have pictures. If you've been with me for a while, you've seen the stuff that I make and the things that I show you every week what I make. So hopefully you'll kind of have an envision of what I'm talking about, or if you can recall the actual setup. So this is just my stuff that I sold. Tara will do her own video, her own recap. So this is just my part of the market. Anyway, 2 Triceratops right off the bat I sold. I'm going to just go down the list and tell you the stuff I sold multiples of. I probably didn't sell multiples at that time. I just throughout the whole day I sold that many total. I just went back and made hashtags, hash marks, not tally marks, you know, the ticks, whatever. Wow, I am tired, and I really debated doing this video, but I was like, I wanted to do the recap while I was fresh, and I need some sleep tonight, but my son has a friend over, and I'm like, I don't know how much sleep I'm going to get tonight, and I'm like, I'm just gonna get this done. Okay, I sold two Triceratops, one jumping spider, only 2 keychains. They sell for $6. I sold a snuggle deer, which I made this week. I made 1 snuggle deer and 2 Puddles the ducks from Madeline Mako this week, and something else that was a custom order. And I will try to pop pictures up of those here so that you can see that. But that's all I made this week, but I did sell a snuggle deer. It was for $38. I sold a total of 4 loaf cats, the mini loaf cats from Annie Caraway Art. But I chain out the tail and back in so I don't have to make a separate tail. I sold my Nibbles the mouse that had the cookie from Robin Notting Hook Crochet. I had 2, one with the cookie, and then I had a cream colored one with the pink overalls on that didn't have a cookie, and the one with the cookie sold for $25. I sold 4 the little baby frogs. Some of them were Mom Stitch Eddie's free pattern, and some of them were a different, like, little pocket frog pattern that I have. I sold my Daisy turtle that's from Happy Turtle Crochet for $35. I sold a total of 5 baby turtles, which I make in Elise Voluto usually. And it's lmsart.co. It's a free Instagram pattern. I sold 5 of those. I sold 3 emotional support chicken nuggets, 5 what I'm calling ducks, or some people call them mini birds. I had white ones, yellow ones, and mallard versions of them, and they were tiny, and I had them in the $8 bin. And I sold 5 total in different varieties. I sold my $35 sloth that was from Teresa's Crochet Shop. I sold my $75 Darla the baby dragon from Red Mills Crochet. I've had this yellow. It's yellow with the green accents on it. I've had it since last summer. I entered it into the fair last summer. And I've had it since then, and a little girl came by and she fell in love with it, and her grandma, I was like, did you look at the price? Tara's like, did you look at the price tag? And she's like, no. And the little girl was just snuggling it, and I'm like, it's really expensive. It's a lot of hours of work. And she looked at it, she's $75. She's like, oh honey, can we find something else? She's like, but I already love it so much. She's like, okay. And she just went ahead and bought it for her. So $75 Darla sold, which, funny story, I guess she was carrying it around and must have been flinging it by the tail. There's leaves that come off the bottom of the tail, and she ripped the tail pieces completely off of it, brought it back, and her dad was like, I'm so sorry, but is there any way you can fix this? And I'm like, I can, so like Tara had worsted weight white yarn with her, it was cotton, and so I'm gathering needles, and I sewed the tail back on really, really, really well and tightened it up. And I told her, I'm like, you can't pull on its wings and its tail pieces and stuff. I mean, he's a handmade item, and the Sweet Snuggles light yarn. And I'm like, just be really careful. She was probably 10, 11, so I think she'll eventually, I just didn't imagine someone young would play with it and be rough with it. I mean, it's a pretty expensive toy. A $5 stingray, only one of those. I had a long alligator that I sold that I tried, I don't know, a couple months ago. I sold 3 of my swinging animals. There was a mallard and 2 chickens, I think, in the swings. One of my snakes, one of my baby whales. I had a dashboard duck from Bobble Stitch Queen. I had 3 of those. I sold one of those for $10. I sold 2 capybaras. My little Labrador dog from Poggy's Place. One of my drift octos that came from the Crochet Carpenter. One of my hanging plants that I made a bunch of from Minnie's Crochet Friends, the tiny itty bitty hanging plants. I sold my Pokemon, which is the Chunkymon and the Jumbo Yarn. It was $15. I sold one of the puddles, not the new ones I made, but I sold the first one that I made, which was just plain like soft yellow. It's really cute. I sold 1 bendable gummy worm, 1 $10 squid, my $24 K's Crochet Critters cow, 1 of my hamsters, 2 of the little market mice, 1 little Poggy's Place elephant for $5, a $10 octo, $18 owl, and a $5 octo. So that was all of the stuff that I sold, which was a lot of little small stuff, but also a couple nice sized over $30 items in there, 3 or 4 of those that really made my total what it was, which I sold $713 at this market if I wrote everything down. That is just my totals, the stuff that I sold. Keep in mind I had a $90 booth fee, which that's something that, depending on how much we sell, I split with Tara some of that. I take off she gives me her total and I take out some of the credit card processing fees, and then a part of, I just kind of round it down to something and take out a little bit of the booth fee. So she's paying part of it. So I had a $90 booth fee and I had a $162 hotel bill that I will just eat that, which, I mean, and it was a good weekend away with Tara and April, and that was worth it also. So, I mean, really at the end of the day, I probably will end up netting around $500, I would say, between my portion of the booth fee, the hotel, and the processing fees. So, will I do it again? No, I won't. I won't take a half a day off work, drive 2 hours, wake up super early to do a $700 show. If I'm going to do this again, I would need it to be like a $1,500 show. Now, if she had also had a $700 day and together we had done $1,400, I might think about it, but she did not. So you'll have to see her video to see her total, but not worth the time, travel, and the energy really that was put into it and stuff, the time away from home. So not something that I would do again. But $700 is a great show. Don't get me wrong. There are people I know watching this right now going, if I had a $700 show, and I totally get that, guys. Like, I really do. But like, I do the crochet for fun, and when it takes away from my family time, and then I only ended up making about $500 of that. Plus, I mean, there was gas and there was food and stuff I'm not even accounting for. And a half a day I took off of work, which didn't dock my pay. You know, I had time to take, but a half a day off work and a whole day and a half away from my family, you know, and just lugging everything around and not getting a chance to reset for a weekend wasn't enough for me to say that this was successful. But next weekend we are going to be in Owensboro, Kentucky at the Strawberry Festival. This will be our second year there. Last year we had a really great weekend despite 5-6 crochet booths being there. We had a really great weekend. It's a Saturday and a Sunday show, so I'll be away from home even longer and will not be posting a video probably on Sunday next week. Whether I do a video or not, I'm not sure. I may just do like a summary of everything I made, a short one that I post on Sunday, and then just do like the market one in the middle of the week. I don't know yet. But we will be there and overnight, and it's at an outdoor thing where you're tent, and we're relying on the weather and stuff right now, which looks really nice. So we will see what the weather and, you know, what that looks like. We had a really great weekend last year, so but I think everything's just kind of down this year too, so I don't know what to expect. You know, being my second time back, will there be a lot of people that come back that I already saw last year that are already bought something that won't buy again? Or will there be different people? Will there be more crochet people, less crochet people? I don't know. The weather will play into it. You know, the economy plays into it. So, okay, I think that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you enjoyed this market recap and this little look into this market that me and Tara did. But if you do want to leave a comment down below, questions, comments, there's links in my description, not to the patterns of stuff, but to my Amazon storefront and my own Etsy shop if there's anything in my Etsy patterns or whatever that you're interested in. But my Amazon storefront has links to all of my market items, my bookshelves, tablecloths, all of those things are linked in there. So if you saw anything that you're going to ask about, or if you don't see it linked, please leave me a comment below and I'll try to get it for you. So have a great week, guys. I appreciate you being here. We will talk to you next week. Have a great one. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Happy crocheting. Bye.